Right, so I was just explaining to Orion the difference between Shamash flare god theory and the solar micronova, which is demonstrably wrong. So here we have our four gas giants. After Shamash splits, you get Proto-Saturn, then it splits, and you get eventually Venus, and you get, well, that'd be Neptune, this is Venus. Alright, I can turn the heat up on these, but they're all relatively in the same energetic level. So the Earth's atmosphere does like 10 to the 6 amps. Jupiter's, is 20,000 times more in magnetosphere, but its current is still right around that region. 10 to 8, something like that. If the sun novas, it'd be like this house catching fire. Now, another key fact is that when the star began to bifurcate, aside from lengthening and bulging and becoming just flat on the bottom, and it bulged on the side, and it elongated in this direction as Proto-Saturn was ejecting, Jupiter was ejecting, Proto-Saturn was over here, and then eventually Proto-Saturn became Saturn. The flare happened from the top, which means it didn't face the Earth. So now all that material is around the Earth. Now, as it gets out and then Neptune comes out because of the Vulture delay, they start circulating around each other. They form the owl motif at first with the glowing eyes. Then they start rotating. All this material is around them. We're moving around that. We're seeing this connection. When the material gets all around, then we flare. We have thunderbolts. And that's it. It's thunderbolts. And those thunderbolts kill because the feet are wider in megafauna, which means there's more step potential between them. The more the distance, the greater step potential, because of the same resistance in the body, more current goes through the heart. Grizzly bears, when they're young, and if they're female, they can climb trees. And black bears and all those. And they'll live in caves. The short-faced bear could not. Dire wolf was a big animal. Mammoths, mastodons, big animals. And then the climate change that followed killed off the rest. So giant ground sloths. They found carcasses of these ground sloths, and they didn't have mates for, hundreds and hundreds of miles. They couldn't find each other. So any ones that happened to be living in caves, they just were all alone after that. And bison, they typically could go live in forest caves and such here in Kentucky. So we have, lots of reason to understand that step potential was the main vector that killed the megafauna, and then climate change finished it all off. And that's all I have to say about Shamash theory versus the Micronova theory.